sitting in the hotel parking lot. I was coming in last night and I started losing brake pressure and heard some scraping noises. So yeah, I just pretty much went to bed. Got up this morning, jacked the car up, took the drum off, and I didn't take any of these parts off. Everything just fell out of the bottom. So it just exploded. I don't know what happened, but it's all over the ground. So yeah, let's see what's next. Well, the only thing I can think of is I cut off the fitting and I ran this bolt through it, and I'm going to go ahead and thread it back in and just totally block off this one side of the brake line. As long as it don't leak, we should be okay for a while. We just have 3 brakes instead of 4 brakes. So yeah, let's give that a try. I should have known. It's my fault. I mean, I'm the one that put the brakes together, but I was getting brake dust on this tire and I noticed it every time I stopped. So yeah, it's my fault for not looking at it sooner and resolving the problem before it got that bad. And remember, we had an issue with it sticking on the interstate. That was probably the best time to look at it. Everything's packed up. We have some brake pressure. Getting ready to leave the hotel, and we're going to get back on the road. We're headed to Nashville next. If it all goes well, we'll continue. If things keep going as they are and we don't have enough brakes to stop the car, then we're going to have to hit the interstate where you don't use any brakes and head back to Indy. So we'll have to see how it goes. Still having a good time. Well, we're headed to Nashville. I stopped and tried to pick up some brake parts at the local AutoZone in Memphis. They don't have any brake shoes at that particular location. They had some at a hub store, but it was 15 miles in the opposite direction. So we're going to maybe look around in Nashville and see if we can't find any brake shoes, spring kits, line. We need all of that stuff because I had to cut the line too in order to make it, in order to get the fitting out and make that block off. So yeah, we're gonna have to get some, try to find some more stuff. If we can't find any more brake hardware, I don't know if we can continue on the tour here because I'm double footing it in order to stop. It's a little bit difficult. I don't want to get on the back roads. Right now we're on 40 and it's all just straight highways for like an hour, hour and a half. So no big deal on the interstate. You don't have to stop. Hopefully you don't have to stop on the interstate. So yeah, on to Nashville.
quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. What keeps you up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. You got me like, oh yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. Hey, it's too late to try to go contain it. A generation fueled by creation. We live lives on a small screen nation. We control the airwaves, no negotiation. I refuse to think we need saving. Something good will come from creation. And when we think that the world is too anxious, we'll adapt, evolve, survive, and save it. What keeps you up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. What keeps you up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. You got me like, oh yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. Hey, oh yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. You got me like, oh yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong.
Is there anywhere that you're supposed to stop? I think last week stuff. Or you think it should boil it up and stop?
Yeah, it took probably, what was that, like 20, 30 seconds of priming the pump for.
Yeah, having a return helps a whole lot.
Yeah, we're good, man. Thanks for stopping.
Keep rolling.
And I haven't seen a Concorde for a very, very long time.
If you had to give a guess of what decade it was, which one would you say the last time you saw one?
About 1985.
Finally. I drive an Eagle at home, and everywhere I go, everyone says I haven't seen one since the 80s.
Right?
And this is essentially the same thing,
Yeah.
without the fame of the first four-wheel drive, and no one said it yet.
I said it.
I thought for sure that everywhere we go, I haven't seen one since the 80s.
So right? I haven't seen one since the 80s.
Well, there we go.
Ooh, look at that line we're making. See ya.
I'd say you should park this and pull that out and join us. I wish I did.
Do a burnout. But turn the lights on.
I think I might have one rig.
Mary Kay Cosmetics Cadillac. Well, we are getting pretty close to Nashville, and it is getting hot again, super hot. The car is actually starting to get a little bit warmer than I would like. It's been jumping up to 210. It has been running 190 and 200, and I am losing some power. I don't know if I'm losing compression. I am hoping the cam's not going away because sometimes I get some chattering. So there's that, and I have 3 brakes, and I think I am losing the back passenger side now because I am getting a large buildup of brake dust on the back rim. So something is going on. I believe maybe the hoses are swelling up, and when I hit the brakes, they are not letting go, and causing those brakes, or the one back brake that I only have now, but that may have been what happened to the other one, just dragging for long periods of time and just wearing out the pads until there's nothing left. And then the wheel cylinder expands too far and you lose the pistons out of it and the seals, and then you have a big gross greasy dust brake mess like I showed you earlier what happened to the other one. So I'm not sure. Whoa, that's a tight curve, and the suspension is lousy. Oh my gosh, this suspension is awful. I can feel the car shifting underneath me. So I don't know if we're gonna make it. We'll have to see when we get to Nashville what it feels like and how it's running by the time we get there. But okay, I'll check in a few. Is that a castle? Maybe Hogwarts? I don't know. So we're just getting here to the Nashville event, and if you look here, the line was backed all the way up to the street. Apparently they're only letting X amount of cars in and X amount of cars out. And it wraps all the way around to about there. Well, that's about an hour-ish. We're just gonna park out here and hang out with the cool kids where the party's at. They claim they have beer, but we haven't seen any beer yet. But there is plenty of water, which is way more important right now than beer. So we are just gonna hang out and have a good time right here. So have a look and see what Luke's doing. Mowing.
You know, the first part of our trip today was real good. The second part of our trip, when this engine bay gets to like
205, 210, since I have to have that thing at like 2 psi to not flood.
Yeah.
Oh boy, it starts getting kind of questionable. The more fuel pressure you can run on a fuel system, the more it resists a phase change.
Right.
So yeah, 2 psi is like my old friend vapor lock, you know. So
Right.
but apparently 205, 210 is like the number for this engine.
205, 210.
Yeah, we're doing
Right.
real good till then, but yeah, we
Yeah.
decided we're gonna just set up here because that line I heard is like an hour long.
Yeah, I mean, it wraps all the way back there. I'm not sure what their check-in process is like, but apparently it's a little lacking.
You know what? We just said we were over it before it even started.
Now, this is a good spot. I like this spot.
I know. I figured we'd get there like an hour beforehand. Yeah, only
Hey, we go. How are you?
Hey! Well, it was about this time that I decided to go ahead and head back to Indianapolis from Nashville. It's only about 6-7 hours away from the house there. And I couldn't find the parts that I needed. And if you watch the build of this car, you know there were some shortcuts taken. And going around those corners, I can feel a little shifting action. I believe our frame, the frame mounts we made by just drilling the hole in some plates and sliding them inside the rusty frame are probably coming undone. I haven't looked at the car yet, but kind of feels like what was going on. Plus losing more and more brakes. Breaking down is one thing, crashing is just totally a different thing. So in the interest of safety, I decided to go ahead and call it quits at that time and just head on back to Indianapolis, but next year. Okay, well, the last fuel stop here, and I'm just calculating how many miles per gallon the old Buick gets, and looks like it's getting 9.2 miles per gallon. That's not great. So it's better than the 6.6 miles per gallon that the GMC Grand Sierra Crew Cab was getting by a long shot, but just over 9 miles per gallon, not great. So we have learned a lot this year on Power Tour, and yeah, we're gonna make it better next year. But I'm gonna finish getting home. It's dark already. Hopefully I'll make it. I'm running out of brake real fast. It's starting to pull from side to side just when I touch the brakes now, and it's getting pretty bad. But I'm only about an hour and a half away from the house now. I'm on the interstate, and I should really not have to do much stopping from this point on. So as long as nothing more falls off the car, we will be good. So that's gonna wrap it up for this episode of Street Rat Garage Hot Rod Power Tour Edition. Until next time.